Got milk? No, I'm just teasing. Do you have tissue paper? Just, regular tissue paper. Or maybe you have a napkin. Well, that's what we're going to use today because I wanted to show you a really quick and fun project. So if we have time, I'm going to show you 3 things. But first, let's start one at a time. Set the tissue paper aside. The next thing is, do you have any 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper that you'll just never use? I do. I have gray and I have this weird off-white. And so I thought maybe we could use that today. So I'm going to just one at a time. We're going to grab this one and a glue stick. I'm going to try this Yoo-Hoo Magic Blue that I got from, Connie. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take this amazing napkin, open it up. I'm going to get a little bit of glue. You could get spit, whatever you want, on the fingers. Kind of rub it and doop. Oh, look, it came off. This one I know is 3 layers, so I'm going to do it again. There we go. And we're just going to separate this pretty top layer from the bottom 2 layers. And we're going to set the bottom 2 layers aside for some other project. All right, so what we're left with is just this. And I thought it would be kind of fun to make some handmade paper that almost feels like cloth when we're done. And it's simple. All you have to do is you take your 12 by 12 and we're going to put glue on it. Now, as you probably know, stick glue dries fairly quick. And so we're just going to do a little bit at a time. And so I've got stick glue running down like that. And then I'm going to take my napkin and I'm going to put it on there. Oh, careful, careful. There we go. And I'm just going to press it down. And I'm not worried about wrinkles. I don't mind the wrinkles. Okay, and then we're going to pull this up and do a little more gluing. If we tried to do the whole thing at once, the glue would dry to where we'd be having issues. So just do a little bit at a time. Pull the napkin back up and do some more. Make sure you get the edges really well because we want the napkin to fully stick down on everything. This is almost like making a masterboard, but we're just using a napkin. I'm gonna call it, what am I gonna call it? Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know what to call it. I don't know. Now, what you want to do next is let this fully dry, and after it dries, come over here and trim the edges off. And now you have a 12 by 12 sheet of paper that you can do whatever you want with. Cut it into journaling cards or tags, or cut it up and use it in collage material. You make pockets out of it. You can do whatever you want. And once the glue dries, it is an absolute fabulous texture. See how quick and easy that was? And then, so I'm going to set it aside to dry. And then we're going to do it again. But this time we're going to use tissue paper and our glue stick. But I do want to take this because it's so big. And actually what I'll do is I will put this over top, leave a little hanging off on the edges. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut it because this piece of tissue paper is huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. And it's just going to be too hard to deal with if if I don't do this. Now, this tissue paper came in a bag, a paper bag, from the first time I met my son's girlfriend, who's now his fiance. She brought me the cutest coffee cup and a little Bible study. Yep. So this is the second thing, and we will have time for the third. So on here, as you can maybe see, maybe you can't. There we go. Do you see the texture? That's actually raised bumpies on this side, and the other side is completely smooth. So I'm gonna leave this smooth side in case we turn it into something we wanna write on. And I'm gonna put the glue on this side with the tissue paper. Now with this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a big square in the middle of glue, and I will come back and do the edges later. Well, in a second. Okay, so then I'm gonna take my tissue paper, try and center it, press it down, and press out like that. Now there are wrinkles, and I don't mind that look. If you do, then you're gonna have to be way more careful. And then I'll come out here and get the edges. There we go. Press down really good on those edges. We're gonna turn it and do it again. And we probably might have some time to go around the rest. Do you see why I say I go through glue sticks a lot? Yeah, it is true. And then just press outward. That does help with the wrinkles a little bit. But again, I think the wrinkles kind of give it a little character. Now over here, I messed up. So tissue paper rips easily, so just be very careful. And so does napkins. And again, this needs to dry, but when we're done, it is going to have this really fabulous feel. It will have a completely different texture if you were to paint over it with, say, Mod Podge or any PVA glue like Elmer's School Glue. It would give it a whole different feel. But I like the feel once this is dry because it reminds me of fabric. It's like a fabric paper. It's weird. All right, let's put our glue stick away. Set this aside to dry, and I will show you my very last idea. Now, this used to be the bag that my gift came in from my daughter's fiance, and I made something with it. And I thought, well, I could show you how to do the same thing. Here's what I did. Have you ever been to the post office and seen these priority ship boxes? They come in a bunch of different sizes. This is the smallest. So here's what I did. I just went and I cut off this flap here, and then I cut off all these other flaps so that what I was left with was a rectangle, okay? Then I glued this on top of it, and then I glued this tissue paper on top of that, and then I hung it on the wall as a cork board, and I put, I used tacks, and I tacked photos of their engagement pictures, you know, onto this, and I hung it on the wall. So I'm not going to do that exact same thing this time. Instead, what I wanted to do was, check this out. These are free also at the post office. So here's what I thought we could do. We could just take this apart like that, and come on, you know you want to, and like that. And then you fold these edges out like this. Yep. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn that over, because what I thought we'd do is grab our glue stick again, and I want to get glue all over this flap here. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay that down there. Give it a good press to make sure it all stays. And then I want to trim that off. It's probably going to be easier if I come to this side. And then do the sides here. Ooh, and actually we could just glue those sides down. Hang on, let's do that. It's less cutting. But I'm seeing we have a bit of an issue here. So I do want to kind of cut that away. And I'll come to this side and kind of cut sideways. Because then we can just get glue on this tissue paper. Careful, Dawn. And fold it over. Let's use some of that glue that was sticking there. And come on. It's messy, but nobody's going to see the back. We fold that over. Okay, then when we close this back up, keeping in mind we want to be careful because it's not dry yet, we can give that a good press. And look, we can use that as a pocket in a journal, which means I'm going to cut this little end off. Isn't that adorable? Now, it might be a little too big to go in a journal. I've got this journal right here. And it's, oh boy, yeah, see, if you were to take a normal piece of coffee dyed paper and measure it, oh yeah, it's too big. So what do we do? I know what we do. We just go right about there and we cut it off. There we go. So what we have now is, yeah, a pocket, but this is going to be kind of flimsy. So what we could do is just measure here, and I'm going to put a line here. And what we'll do is we'll just cut some of this off right there. And right there. And we'll take not the stick glue. We'll take some art glitter glue. And oh no, wait a minute. How did I end up with a brown piece? I don't want a brown piece, I wanted yellow. Okay, cut it this way. Goodness sakes. Right about there. That's better. All right, let's try that again. Sheesh. Well, first, we've got to get some glue down here. Because a pocket, obviously, needs to be closed at the bottom. There we go. And then we can close this. Come on. Oh, there, it's flowing now. Because this side here will be glued down into a journal. Okay, now we can take this, get some glue, glue it at the top, and I think I'm going to turn it around like this. There we go. Make sure that it's staying down but not gluing to that inside pocket. There we go. That kind of reinforces it a little. And I am thinking, now that I think about it, we could put this on the inside. Let's just make it shorter because that would reinforce it even more. Let's do that. The glue should dry clear, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, now I want to cover all of this, right? Because we don't want it to be sticking out like a sore thumb. So here's how I do it. I just would measure it and put a line here. And I think I want to go all the way to the top. So I'm going to cut it right there. And I want to do it 2 at once. So I'm actually what I could do is take this and fold it over at that mark I made. Come on, fold over there. There we go. Cut it there. And then cut this way. Okay, and then we can go ahead and come back and cut it in half. That should be perfect for both sides. Let's just double check it. It is. Okay. So glue, glue, glue. What has everybody been up to lately? Have you done anything exciting? I mean, it is summertime. For me, this is exciting. I got to see my daughter and grandkids today at the little local library. So that was interesting. And then my husband came home. This is so funny. We went on a date night on over the weekend anyway. And we actually just went and got a cup of coffee, and then we walked around Goodwill. And there was this desk. It was $29, and it was 60 inches long. And it was a 2-piece desk. It has a topper thing on it. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for in my junk journaling space. But we didn't have a truck with us, and whatever. Well, he came home with it today. He's like, I have something for you in the truck. So after I do this, guess what I'm going to have to do? Organize. Yep, you guessed it. I need to take everything off of the folding table that I have sitting here with all my stuff on it. And just take that folding table out to the garage. And then bring in the new one, which means that comes with some organizing. Yeah. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to cover this bottom flap with this leftover stuff here, just for fun. Give her some glue. So yeah, I thought, well, I'm going to make this video because I wanted to try this first. And then I'll deal with the rearranging and organizing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep. Okay, now we've got this little piece right here. I was thinking we could just put some of that on there. So maybe right about there, fold it over and chop. And then we got to make it straight on. And then let's just use whatever brown happens to be on this dauber. I don't know what it is. I think it's, if I had to guess, it's frayed burlap. And then give it some glue. And I think I want it to go this way. And there we are. Press it down. Yay. Yay. Now, just for fun, I'm going to come in here and do a wonky fussy cut. And this one as well. And then give that some ink. Give this one a little ink. There we go. And I'm going to glue that up over here. And then this one right next to it. Maybe right there. And I'm thinking maybe some sort of a word on there. How about we grab this? Let's see. Ooh, here we go. Adventure awaits you. Right down there. Yay! And we have a fabulous pocket. Now, we obviously need something that goes down in that, but that could be something for another day. But I thought, what a fun idea with a free envelope from the post office. I mean, they're free, right? Yeah. So I hope that gives you an idea of something fun to do. And I will see you either tomorrow or the next day. I may have an experiment up my sleeve. I'm not sure. We'll see. Thanks for being here, friends. Bye.